to the Oven Podcast.
Hey guys, it's time for another awesome dinner here at Jackson's in Comac. And Franco and I can't wait for tonight's conversation with tattoo artist and former Ink Master contestant, Jordi Pla. Chef Harry Poole says the oven's preheated, so let's get started.
On today's episode, we got co-owner of Black Flamingo Collective in Maryland. You may have seen him on Ink Master Season 13 back in 2020, Turf Wars. We want to welcome our boy, Jordi Pla.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing today?
Good, man. Thank you so much for coming, bro.
No problem. I'm excited.
Really appreciate you taking the trip. My man just drove, 5.5 hours from Maryland to be here?
Yeah, pretty much. But that's like pretty like a cakewalk for me right now. I'm used to like 14, 15 hours of driving.
Yeah, you had a nice kickback ride in the Tesla.
Yeah, I didn't have to drive. I just let it drive me.
That's it. Hey, so it's been a couple years since the show aired. Back then you were tattooing in Miami.
Yeah.
Fins up.
There we go.
Now we got a shop in Maryland. You didn't like the fins up, did you?
I don't like much that he does. But.
Tell us a little bit about the new place, man, Black Flamingo.
Oh man, it's pretty much the first shop I've like co-owned down there that I haven't been working for somebody else. But with two of my good friends, Meds Tattoos, they also came up from Miami to move to Maryland, and Nina, the J Tiger.
Yep.
She's really good up and coming artist that's been killing it lately. But fucking, I feel like we got a really strong team, and it's just like. It's almost like it's a different aspect like than being like in a regular shop. It's more of a collective, so we're all like splitting the costs and everything like that. So we're all working together, so no one's like above each other. So it's
nice.
It's a really cool experience, and it's a lot different than what I've been used to for the last like 8-9 years tattooing.
So what was it like before then?
Well, I mean, the first shop that I worked at, which I owe a lot of my career to, was Chico's Mark for Life in Miami, okay. And he actually took a chance on me. Well, having no experience or anything like that, and he took me to my first convention, 3 months in tattooing professionally, and then the first tattoo I actually did at the convention was my first award, which got me hyped up to do more conventions.
Wow.
And coming from Miami is like, right before I started working, I never thought I was going to do a tattoo convention or even work at a shop, because I was like tattooing at my house and like kind of scratching, but I was wanting to work in a shop, and I kind of gave myself a time frame, 5 years. I want to work in my first shop, and then another couple years to do my first convention. And then he hit me up like a week later after that. He hired me on the spot. I did like a 1.5 month apprenticeship, and then 2 months later he took me to my first convention. I've probably already done like 200 conventions since then.
God damn. A 1.5 months? Isn't it usually like at least like a 6 month apprenticeship?
Usually it depends. It's usually on how quick you can go. Like literally I had experience tattooing. I just had to learn like being clean, cross-contamination and stuff like that. Okay. So once he saw that I can already tattoo and then I understand all that stuff, he was like, yo, you can start making money. Because to him, it's better to have him start working and learning stuff than just waiting all this time and not really get anything done. And it was probably the biggest improvement in my career, like the biggest shot I had.
So 3 months in, you were already making cash. So, and when did that start? What year was that?
That was, I did my apprenticeship was 2014 in August.
So you haven't really been at this for
No, it's been about probably almost 8-9 years that I've started professionally tattooing. Okay. And then I probably maybe 2 years before that, I started taking it up as it happened by accident, because I was telling you I went to school for aerospace engineering at UCF in Orlando. Yep. And I had my associates in aerospace engineering, and I was going to get my bachelor's. And I happened to move up there, and my cousin was dating a tattoo artist and kind of sold me my first machine, because I used to do graffiti and shit back in the day. And I used to,
with that, didn't
I got in trouble. And the thing is, I was born in Venezuela, so I came to the United States when I was 4 months old, and then at this time I was 17 years old, and I got arrested for doing graffiti right in the middle of me getting my residency. So I thought I was gonna get deported, and I was shitting in brick, because I lived my whole life in the United States. I came at 4 months old, so the country was going bad down at the time. So I was like, nah, fuck this, I can't do that shit. So after I got that, I did almost 10 years of not drawing, not doing anything. I was going to school for engineering, and then when I went up there, my cousin was luckily dating a tattoo artist, sold me a couple of machines, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just do this for fun and make some money while I'm going to school for engineering. And then I just got that love for art back again, and that's when I switched my major from aerospace engineering. I moved back to Miami and started studying just a regular art degree. And Chico hit me up a month later because he's seen a couple tattoos I did online. He's like, yo, you want a shot? And gave me a shot, and that was it.
Wow. So you just gave up drawing like that overnight?
Yeah, because it was I was drawing almost every day, and actually I felt like I was more natural at drawing back when I was younger, because I would do that for 10 hours and not give a fuck, and it didn't feel like work. It was just something I really loved to do. And I never, even back then, I didn't like to do stuff for other people. So if someone asked me, "Oh, can you draw this for me?" I wouldn't like, because it was for me, like it was something I loved to do. And then almost getting deported and doing the whole graph stuff, I was like, yo, I gotta be serious, man. I can't be living in Venezuela right now. That's just fucked up.
No, you couldn't pay me. How tough was that to like lose something that you were so passionate about?
Man, at the time, I was so interested in engineering. I was like, it wasn't so bad because I felt like I at least had to do something. But once it came back around, it was just like I realized how much I loved it and how much I missed it. And then that was just, it was more a decision for me because it was something I love to do, and I wanted to be able to wake up every morning doing something I love to do. Even as much work I have to do, it didn't feel like work. It felt like a passion. Like engineering, I liked it, but it was just like getting very redundant. It was like Calc 1, 2, and 3, differential equations, thermodynamics. It was a lot of math and science, which I did like, but it wasn't really what I love to do. And I just want to put much effort into it. It had to be something I really love to do.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
So what artists do you like? What artists out there do you look up to?
Man, there's so many, but I probably think my favorite overall artist right now is probably Dmitry Samoin from Ukraine.
Okay.
He's like a very good like oil painter, and he applies his tattoos very similar, and he has his own style. It's called like, I guess it's called color bumping. So it's not really in the sense where you're kind of doing like portraits. It's like literally he'll do a specific color, and instead of blending the colors in there, he'll use the color that's already mixed, and he'll put it right next to each other. So it's like almost like, I wouldn't say paint by numbers, but it's like in that type of sense.
I gotta check him out after this.
So he has the colors ready here. He knows where he's going to put them.
Yeah, he always knows. The thing is, I learned with tattooing, the more prepared you are and you understand what you're going to do, the better your tattoo is going to, because you're not like with like color realism or any of those type of styles, you kind of have to think about the color as you go.
Right.
And you have to figure out. But if you already did all the work beforehand and you have everything lined out where you're going to put, all you're thinking about is like application, and it's going to make the tattoo even better, and it's going to heal better on there. Because when you do like those type of tattoos, there's like a very thin margin where tattoos can be like perfect or they can be overworked because there's a lot of colors, because it's not the traditional sense of like tattooing where it's like bold lines, black and color and stuff like that. So it's a lot different, and that's what I like about tattooing, because to be honest, when I was a kid, I wasn't that interested in tattoos, just because I just thought they were just like very traditional and stuff like that. And to me, it was like when I was a kid, I was drawing portraits, and that's what I really love to do. And when I found out you can do that in tattooing, it's like it puts me want to do like even crazier things, because like if I just do a regular tattoo and it's like I don't even like posting them anymore, because it's not like it's nothing crazy or nothing like that, and it's just like I don't know. I do tattooing not really for money anymore. It's more so because I'm very prideful of anything I do, and I want the recognition about like, oh, I want people to be amazed when I do some work.
Yeah. It's almost like showcasing.
I want them to see like, damn, that looks fucking cool. Cause I get more out of that than money, because like I'll just make the money either way.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's so obvious that you have so much respect for the art, and like it seems like you really love the process. And that's another thing that separates a lot of people in a lot of different sectors. You know, you have to love. If you love the process, the end is easy.
Oh yeah. The thing is with like that stuff, it's like, to me, it's always been, even when I did art. I went to school. When I did my degree in art at FIU. It wasn't my favorite because it was literally all about contemporary art. It was all about why I want to do stuff and what's the meaning behind it. And at that time, I really didn't give a fuck about that. To me,
you just want to do art.
To me, it was like I wanted to learn like traditional painting. I want to learn the actual techniques about certain things. And like when I look at a painting, like I guess I kind of view it different than normal people. Because the normal people be like, oh, what's that meaning? What? No, like when I look it down, I break it down. I'll try to figure out how that person made the art, like the process on it. Because it's the same thing with tattoos, because like I'll do all this, I'll spend like 10 hours on the day on the one tattoo, and then they'll be gone, and I'll probably never see the tattoo again. I'll never see it
Which
heal.
is crazy, man.
And to me, it's just like, all right, so I have to get used to like, all right, I'm gonna put all this work. That's why I try to take so much care in like getting a good picture of it, and like because like that's the one time I capture what I did right then and there. And after that, it's like a lot of times I'll never see it, or they won't take care of it. Especially grow up in Miami. I mean, they never took care of that.
Yeah,
it's like
the sun beating down.
Bro, they had like leather skin, bro. It's the worst fucking skin to tattoo ever.
So basically, being a tattoo artist or an artist in general is like being a sperm donor. You just do your thing and then say goodbye.
And it's like goodbye, and like sometimes they'll see it there. But it's crazy because like when I first started doing like portraits, if you look at like all my early work, all my best like portraits and like they're all free tattoos I did on my coworkers, and like that was the biggest thing because like when you first start tattooing and like at that time I really didn't have the experience like working in shop, so it's like for me to do what I wanted to do instead of just doing the tattoos people want to come in and the walk-ins, I had to do these tattoos for free because no one's going to give you a shot to do a tattoo they never seen you do before. Like you're not going to be able to do a whole back piece if they haven't seen you do it. So you have to kind of do those tattoos for free. And then I started doing like I think my first like real good portrait was on my homie Meds, who's actually the co-owner of the shops with me. I did a Salvador Dali.
Okay.
Wow.
And it was like a black and gray one. It was like one of the first ones I did. And that was the first one. I won 6 awards, like first place awards for like tattoo a day. I even came up to the aviation, like the United Ink, the aviation one over there, and I got 3rd place over like 60 different like artists that were like amazing in black and gray. And that was like kind of the start of me doing it. And then I started doing more color portraits. I did a Nas portrait on my homie, and then people just like wanted to start paying for me for it, and then just kind of like speedball. And if I never did that and they did those free tattoos, like, oh, I'm only gonna tattoo for money, I probably would not be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for like that.
Put a little bit in to get a hell of a lot more out.
So it's a lot more than the money for you. And how satisfying is it when you are able to see how ecstatic someone is with the work that you've done, with something that's gonna be on their body forever?
It's like the best feeling because if someone's like very like monotone when you get tattoos, it doesn't matter how much like effort you put into it, it's just like for real, it's like damn. Like, I did all that, and it's not even that good enough.
So you just sat here for 6 hours, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah, bro. It's like to me, it's like when they're like happy, it's like, oh man, I feel happy. It's like, yo, I killed it. Like I want to post this tattoo. I want to be proud about it because it's like it's a reflection of my art. It's a reflection of me, how much effort I put into something.
So their reaction is a part of the whole thing for you.
It's almost up there with the money. I mean, I prefer it more than the money, but I gotta live and I gotta pay for shit. You know?
Of course.
If it wasn't for that,
you can't live off thank yous.
If I like could live my life and not have to pay for anything and be like there, I would tattoo for free. I would just do shit I want to do and I'd be happy about it. And like to me, it's more like when I was younger, when I used to do portraits and stuff like that. I never did it because like I wanted to sell it. Because I really love to do it and I want to be able to like replicate something I see in real life and use this like 2D, I guess, like image and make it look realistic with using like these just tricks and because like a lot of like realism is just literally just an illusion, like your illusion for someone's eye to see what they like think they see light and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's just like how much I can like kind of use these tips and like I guess color theories and like art terms where I can use it to like apply into my tattoo, or someone looking it's like damn that looks like a fucking picture and not like just like a drawing.
Yeah. But I heard somebody say the best way to get light is more black.
Yeah, well, like I look at it this way.
That makes no sense to me.
I wouldn't say more black. It's the best way to make light is to have more contrast.
More contrast? Okay.
So the more black you have it and the more open skin or just like highlights is gonna have, you have a good balance. I usually break down things in thirds. So I'll have like 1/3 will be black, 1/3 will be mid-tone, and 1/3 will be open skin if I'm doing black and gray. And then there's another way where you can kind of make things look more realistic. It's called positive negative relationship on like certain like values on there. And where it's like areas that have like a highlight, you're gonna put shade behind it so you can take away the line so it looks more, because there's like, in realism, there's no real lines.
Yep.
But if you have really good contrast and you understand like the principles on that, like a regular tattoo can look realistic and it can hold over a lot longer in time. It'll be a lot easier because you have more open skin, because a lot of people tend to like overdo it and like fill up everything on there, and it's like there's like when I was like learning how to tattoo, the first thing I learned was application, but the next thing I was like really interested was like learning these art like terms and understanding like these concepts where it's gonna make my art even better. Mm-hmm. And there's like even with like color theory, you can get contrast to values, which is how dark or light something is. You can get contrast in color theory, so complementary colors like yellow and purple or yellow and violet, they're complementary, so right next to each other they have the most contrast, but then you can add value to that, so you can have a dark purple versus a light yellow, and it's going to increase the value on there. And then you can even bring it in more where you have texture, have something that's very sharp and rigid next to something that's very soft, and visually it's gonna stand out there. When you have a tattoo, the first thing you look at is the highest point of contrast in the image. And then you can use these like concepts to make things stand out, push things back. And it's like, there's so many tricks and tools that you can use to like make things to read different stories, how they want you want it to be read, or you can have them like go through a image based on where you want it, just based on the amount of contrast and things you have on there.
That's crazy. Without disregarding color, just contrast, you're able to control where someone's eyes are going to lead on someone's arm sleeve.
They're going to see that, and the first thing is going to be the highest point, and then you can make things secondary, or there's like so much like things you can learn to increase like how a tattoo is viewed and how things will look. It's just like understanding the application first and then figuring out what you want to do with it.
It's crazy how tattoos have evolved, man.
No, man, it's crazy.
Just even in like the last couple of years, it feels like, you just see more and more people coming out of the woodworks, and it's everyone is so talented, man.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is like what I'm so happy now is like everybody's pushing those concepts. Like if people just kept to what people like what traditional tattoo artists were saying back 20 years ago, like, oh, you can only do this, you have to have all these lines, you have to have this moldable hole, which is correct, but you can incorporate that into like these realism pieces where you can make them hold over time and they can look really well, and it's just like understanding what's gonna stand. There's like certain foundations, and like there's a lot. It's like there's more like I spent more time studying for for this than I did engineering when I did engineering. That's the crazy part about it.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, we have Kung Pao salmon over mashed potatoes and stir fry sprouts.
Let's go.
Thank you, Via. So where do you see your passion for tattooing taking you in the future?
I don't know yet, because I'm just really happy tattooing right now, but I know that, because I'm already 38, so I know like I only have a finite amount of time where I can stay tattooing like really, really good. So I eventually want to open a couple of shops and have a couple of shops where I'm like kind of run them. That's not like a collective, that's like us just splitting the rent.
Yeah, that you don't even have to be there for.
Yeah, and then I don't know, I want to kind of do more like oil paintings and stuff like that, and like kind of like incorporate different types of methods of art, because I know I'm just always going to be happy doing that. It's just finding, like right now it's so hard to find the time because I literally work 5 days a week, and now I'm doing conventions, I'm working the weekend, and then my travel days are my 2 days off, so it's Thursday and Monday is where I usually travel.
Yep.
Then I work Tuesday and Wednesday to shop, and then I do another convention. It's usually like that, so it's like hard to find these like other avenues. I mean, I wouldn't mind like if, because they just like made marijuana recreational in fucking Maryland. I would love to get in the industry growing plants or something like that.
100%.
That would be amazing, because my dad's an arborist, so like I kind of have that gene where I do like to grow.
Oh wow!
And that would be pretty fucking cool.
If you got that green thumb in, especially like nowadays, you should be using it.
I was looking for the term for
Because
that.
I mean, hopefully you got to think 5 years, 7, 10 years from now, maybe it'll be federally legal. So
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool having like a regular garden, but you got a garden full of weed. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I've grown a couple plants from my brother. Back in
Like
Miami.
outdoor?
Inside.
Oh, yeah?
Grow 'em. We had like 6 plants. We had like a grow tent. We had like a
Nice.
heat extractor, a nice little ballast and all that. We had a whole system when me and her were there, and while I was in college. So I was literally the one taking care of the plants. We had all the nutrients. We had a pH scale read to read the pH scale on them.
All
We had
right.
a little
Oh, even back
liquid-
then?
Yeah. This
Nice.
is like, this had to be like 2015, 2016.
Okay.
But it wasn't the most legal stuff we were doing.
No, of course.
Back there, but it was fun because like my dad's arborist and my dad always gone in that stuff, so I've always liked it. It's just I didn't like as much as art, but
Yep.
I feel like when I was doing it there, I was really happy doing it.
So so you're obviously a smoker, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did you start smoking?
Man, it wasn't until I graduated high school.
Okay.
It wasn't I started working at this restaurant when I graduated high school, and then it was Alamrada Fish Company, and one of my best friends, Greg Maloney, me and him used to start smoking. We used to smoke all the time. So it was like I started getting into it then and there, and then since then it was so long ago they didn't even have mini Dutches yet.
No?
Yeah, it was like we would roll the big Dutches.
Yeah,
and
unroll the
unravel
outside,
it,
yeah.
and then cut it down and shit. And then
That's the way to do it though, man.
Yeah, no, that's the best way. And then when they start coming the mini Dutches, we just split it down the middle, but you have to cut it down so you get the little glue stick
Yeah,
off.
little stick,
cancer
yeah.
stick, and then roll it there. And then now I'm like straight backwards. Oh,
you're a backwards guy?
Oh, backwards
Bro.
all day now.
See, I'm a joint guy. I'm more of a joint guy.
Yeah, I don't
but-
ever need to smoke a blunt.
Backwoods. So he's not much like he kind of just got into the game smoking a little bit. Backwoods would hurt you bad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, every time I smoke it, it feels. I mean, I don't mind it so much, but
I'm so used to it now. It's like if I smoke a joint, it's like it's not the same for me. I need the the little bit of nicotine.
they got the new banana Backwoods too, which are actually pretty nice.
Now it's a lot easier to find those because for a minute I couldn't find them.
So are you like an all day kind of smoker, or do you kind of just after you're done tattooing?
It depends. Like if I'm not working, I'll smoke all day. I'll like smoke like 10 blunts to be honest in the daytime. But when I wake up, I like to wake up like really early. I mean, try to wake up like at like 7 or 8 in the morning. My appointments are usually until 12, but I used to take care of a couple things and like being in the shop early, set up, be prepared, like have my design ready, my stencil ready. So when they come in, I just have the tattoo. If I smoke right before then, there's no way I get that shit done in time. I'm just very chill with it. It's like, but to me, I'd rather smoke either like in the middle towards the end, I'll hit it. But I don't like to get too high when I tattoo. But when I go home, I smoke left and right. Like I play Call of Duty, I'll smoke like 3-4 blunts, and then go to sleep and do it all again.
How you Call of Duty?
Oh, I mean, I'm all right. I only have like a .83.
Okay.
Death rate was not anything good, but we do win a lot. We have a little squad. So we win a lot of like resurgence. I like over 500 wins.
Shit.
Resurgence.
So V is better than him.
V, what's your KD at right now?
Probably 2.
No, that should kill me, bro. It took me a long time. The thing is, I was getting high all the time when I was playing, so it was like took me a second to like really figure out how to fucking hear people come in and shit. But
yeah, I asked her to play. It was a couple weeks ago, and she's like, "Well, I'm actually playing for like rewards now."
Oh, ranked?
No, it's ranked.
Ranked, whatever.
On the multiplayer, right? I just started doing that. I've been about like recently just like Warzone and just like Resurgence and stuff like that because it's a little bit more fun. I got tired of like playing Battle Royale because it'll be like 20 minutes before you see anybody, and then it's like you can die real quick, and then you gotta wait.
Yeah, I'm really no good at any of those video games.
I suck. I can't play anything.
I mean, so just going back real quick, I feel like not many people understand like how much time, it actually like it takes for you to like make a piece, draw it, tattoo it, think about it, like, but now you're trying to keep up, with social media and you're posting. Like, how tough is it to balance all that?
It's extremely hard. Like, I actually pay for assistant to do all of my like paperwork for like conventions and like booking and stuff like that, so I don't have to, because I'll probably spend like 20 hours a week trying to figure that out. And then like figure out the whole, like, the algorithms were so much easier for Instagram like maybe like 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. I before I even got an Ink Master, I still had like 10,000 followers, like 15,000. It was like a lot easier because I would get like 3,000 likes. It was just very like consistent. But now it's like you have to like keep on date like every week because they change algorithms. They try to push certain amount of like second videos, like they want to push reels or they want to use and they're constantly changing. So if you don't keep on, and if you don't post every single day, your like interactions go down and they think they don't really care. And like, bro, I used to get like 3,000 likes for certain things. Now it's like hard to get like 500 likes.
Right.
Which is like crazy, man.
Like having to do something like every single day. And then you have to like pay attention to that. And then the amount of time I have to put into like a design. Like before I would kind of like just not put some time, but the better that I got, the more time I have to put into a design compared to like the actual like tattoo. So imagine doing like 3 to 5 hours worth of design time, another like 8 to 10 hours on tattooing, and doing that 5 days a week.
Yeah,
every week it gets kind of hectic sometimes.
It's almost 100 hours.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous amount of time I have to like do, and then now I have to kind of like learn how to be a dermatologist. I have to understand like skin, like how things are effective, like reactions to like certain things. I have to be a salesman. I have to be able to like promote my shit, like make sure like people are seeing my work, because like I can be the best tattoo artist, but if people don't see it, I'm never I'm not gonna make no money and shit.
So what's the number one takeaway? What's the biggest piece of advice you can give someone to grow their social media brand?
Be consistent and post every single day.
So it's a post every
That's
day.
it.
Every day.
Post every day.
2 to 3 times a day, from what I'm hearing, and
like posting stories or
do at least one post a day, and then like a couple of reels, a couple of stories. It's kind of hard if you don't have like a lot of content to do it.
Yeah,
but,
I was about to say you need a shit ton of content in order to do
but
that.
like from what they were telling me is like you literally have to be consistent with it. You just gotta push and push it, and eventually you're just gonna pop off. And I kind of like I took like 2 months where I didn't post shit, and then I saw my interactions went to under like 5,000 like interactions in a whole month. That's like fucking terrible. And then I started posting every single day for like a good like probably like a month, and my shit went to like almost like 300, 400,000 interactions within the same time. Just being consistent with it, and then understand what are the good hashtags and use whatever the fuck they want you to use, because they always post like, oh, you should use this template and that.
Yeah.
They're pushing that for a reason. They want you to use that, so they're probably going to get more play and more like interactions with people that kind of do what they want.
Right. Isn't it crazy that that's what it's come down to? You got like some motherfucker sitting behind a computer like, hey, this is the hashtag you're going to use. This is how you're going to go viral. Yep. It's like
The same music and everyone's reel.
Yeah. They have to take, because like those are the ones that like people see, and they'll be scrolling and they'll see the same one like 10 times, and you have to like, they're just not gonna push your shit out.
You're loving the salmon, huh?
Oh, it's fire! It's amazing.
so. Hey, real quick. So you said before you only have like a a set amount of time that you can tattoo good and effectively. Like explain that a little bit. Like
all right, so like with tattooing, there's like you're tattooing 10 hours a day. You're sitting down, crouched down like this. Your body breaks down. Your how steady your hands doesn't like last as long. So physically, I mean, I could tattoo like till I'm 60, 70 years old, but it won't be the same level of tattooing I'm doing now, because it's like a lot of toll on your body. So like the more your body breaks down, like you'll see a lot of tattoo artists don't really like eat healthy, don't drink enough water. They don't take care of themselves, and then their body breaks down like very rapidly, and the quality of their tattoos suffer from that. So like I've been trying to like eat better, like be a little bit more healthy, like work out, like keep my mind up to date, because it's like a lot of time when you're tattooing, it's almost like a battle in your mind, because you're sitting there for like 8 to 10 hours and you're looking at one piece, and then you're realizing you have to go slowly and like think about things and be very like assertive and like understanding what you're trying to do. And once your mind starts to break down, it's like you're not gonna have the same amount of input or the same amount of focus you had in hour 1 versus hour 8. So you have to kind of figure out ways to keep your mind like focused throughout the whole tattoo, so the quality of tattoo doesn't dip on certain parts. Because I've noticed a lot of people who I give myself like a hard 8 hours. I won't tattoo after 8 hours. When I was like first starting, I would tattoo 15 hours. I wouldn't give a fuck. Fuck my health. I just want to tattoo this shit.
Right.
Now it's like I'm thinking, 8 hours. I gotta stop. I slowed down how I tattoo just because I want to have a better application, like have things like hold over time better. So like I realized once I slowed down and just take my time and do what I need to do, my tattoos got better. I got the tattoo, but I know I'm not gonna be able to do that when I'm like 56 years old.
Right.
So I have to figure out other ways to make money, or figure out what I can do to like, keep myself in the career.
that's some shit that we don't think about. It's like you're sitting there like hunched over for 10 hours. Like I get pissed when I'm sitting in a car for more than 4 hours. So I can only imagine
that. And then you're kind of looking at the same thing nonstop. I have to take like maybe every hour or so to like take a break and look at something else and to refocus my eyes, because you might not see something, and then it's always good to like stop, take a couple steps back, and then look at the piece and see where things are going, because you're only seeing that part that you're tattooing. You're not seeing the whole picture and stuff like that.
Right. I hate taking breaks during my tattoos though.
No, because they tend to hurt.
Yeah, I feel like once we get done with that break, I'm in a whole new world of pain after that.
Oh yeah, it's on there, but like I like to take like a 5-second break.
Oh, it's just something quick.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, like I'll take one break to eat and that's it. But it's more like I'm gonna stand up, stretch, change my gloves, take a look at back, and then get back on.
And then get back on.
Because I just have to stretch my back or something like that. But I've been doing it so long, I'm so used to like sitting down like there. But I usually have to catch myself and make sure I'm sitting right. That's the biggest thing. Like I gotta sit up, my back straight, my shoulders loose like this.
Yep.
Because a lot of times I catch myself like this, and then what
hunched
happens?
over.
I'll get a knot right here, and then it'll start to hurt in the middle of the tattoo, and then it's like after that, it's like I'm thinking about that, not thinking about the tattoo.
Right.
So that affects like how I tattoo.
So cannabis, are you a believer? Do you believe that cannabis has aided you as an artist because of what it can do to your imagination?
Or just for your body, like at that point.
I don't know. I think it helped me out more so after not tattooing, when I'm not tattooing. More so, like I feel like I can, like, because sometimes when you're tattooing for 8 to 10 hours, your mind just thinking about the tattoo, and it's like constantly, like, just like the whole time. When I go home, I'll smoke a blunt, and then I'll be like, all right, relax, thinking about other things, and like it helps me like kind of recuperate my mind when it's just coming to tattooing.
Right.
Like I said, I don't like to smoke too much before I start tattooing because I know that it kind of like relaxes me, and then at that time I need to be like, yo, I need to get my shit on point, do what I need to do. But for me, it's like it helps me recover. Like at the end of the night, when I'm just trying to play Call of Duty and not think about tattooing, because if I'm thinking about like tattooing 24/7, like it's gonna burn me out, and I'm not gonna be able to like focus and have the same amount of energy the next day when I do it like the next 5 days in a row.
But when you're someone like you who's passionate about what you do, as passionate as you are, it's hard to shut your mind off.
Oh, it is. And the thing is, like, depending on what happens on the tattoo, like if like I had a part, it's like, damn, I could have, because like a lot of people be like, they'll look at the piece like, oh, it's amazing. But I'll look at it and I'll be like, yo, there's this one part I didn't like, or this, it didn't come out how I want it. And that shit will bug me the whole night. And I had to teach myself, like, or once I finish tattooing, yo, take that shit off your mind. I can't do nothing about it. I can't think about it. It's already done. It's done. It's just remember what you fucked up on or what you didn't like about it, and then apply that to the next tattoo. But it helps me shut that shit off.
And you're the one nitpicking it, so it's like, for the general 99% of the population, like they're looking at that and they're like, that's fucking sick. But then like you're like, that fucking left side, bro.
Oh,
like,
left side's not the same, and it could be like, a lot of times it can be just me taking a picture of it in the wrong angle, and I'll look at it and I'll be just like, damn, I can't post this picture, even though it's like one of the favorite tattoos I've ever done. I just can't really post it because it just bugs me and shit. And it's just like, it's not the same.
No, it's so funny because like, she's a musician and like she'll hear music different and like she'll start talking about it like
Via.
Yeah, Via's a musician and like she'll hear music different.
Yeah.
But like when we're listening to it, it's like, this sounds perfectly fine. Like
it's like say the little minuscule like intricacies in the piece that like no one will really notice but myself, and I'll just be like, damn, I could have did it this way and I didn't think about it and I already did it. It's like, fuck.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Here you go. These are funnel cake fries.
Ooh, nice.
Oh man, the 420 festival last week, they had the fried Oreos, and I'm a sucker for fried Oreos. At the end of the night, the truck, I was like, you guys have any fried Oreos? And the lady turns around and I look, I'm like, oh my God. She gave me like 16 of these things, to go around with.
That's agita right away. I can't do that.
Oh, I'll just eat an Nexium and I'm gravy after that.
This kid will come. We'll be pre-gaming before we go out. Yo, can I get a Nexium?
And then drink 100 vanilla Cokes.
I'm like that with regular Coke.
So my go-to drink for the last like almost 2 years now has been vanilla Stoli and Coca-Cola. Like, it's actually unbelievable.
I've been like kind of all over the place. It's like either Jack and Coke if it's like somewhere they don't have there, or like a mule or something like that, or even some weird
Moscow Mule.
I'm a tequila guy at heart, but
I like tequila shots. That's the only thing I like to take shots, tequila. Anything else, I don't know. I feel like I'm such a lightweight now from my college days. I used to drink a lot, party a lot. Especially living in Miami. Miami's like, you're at the strip club at least once a week.
Yeah,
and then you're going to the club, or not even 11. 11 is like more like a club.
Yeah.
You go to BT's South on the river or something like that. Like, that was just like a regular day. They used to have this one spot we used to go on Wednesdays, where it was called Boogies, and we would just go out there. It's like I know Boogies. There we go there, and then we literally walk straight to BT's because it's a block away.
Shit.
It was like it was always like, we always say, oh, we're not gonna go to strip club tonight. It's not gonna happen. After a couple of drinks, someone will bring it up, and it's like, yeah, let's go. We'll rock right there, fucked up, at strip club till like 5 in the morning.
And then come back and tattoo at 12.
Yeah.
God bless. I feel like it can't be. Is it? How is Maryland? Is it like fun like that, or?
To be honest, I moved up there and I really don't go out at all. I go out more when I travel for conventions because like I have that whole group of people that like go out, and then Meds and Nina really don't go out like that. So when I'm in Maryland, I just literally stay home and play Call of Duty or just watch TV and shit like every single night, and then smoke a lot of weed, and then I use all my like fucking going out time is when I'm at a convention and shit.
Yeah.
I went to Towson University outside of Baltimore.
Oh shit.
So we were thinking about maybe in the fall doing a little episode there for a little Towson reunion. If you're around, you should come through.
I'm always down.
Yeah.
I'm only like 35 minutes, 40 minutes from Baltimore. I'm out there all the time.
Towson was fun when we went out over there. What'd you say? UCF and FIU?
Yeah, I went to UCF and FIU and Broward Community College for my associates.
Okay. FIU, two of my buddies played ball over there. And I would pitch first game, so I would have like time to go out. We weren't supposed to go out, but my roommate, I would just have him turn on the shower when coach would come in.
Yeah.
And I'd be out until they got me home.
Oh yeah.
And my first time ever going out with the FIU kids, they took me to Tootsie's. I had $65 in my pocket from my coach. It was my coach's. It was meal money. I went in. I got like 8 massages.
Oh yeah.
It was
like $20 each?
Yeah, 20 for one song. Usually songs like
You
4
got
minutes.
massages there?
Literally. I was sitting in the chair. I got, I want to say like 5 or 6 massages on my shoulder, and just hung out.
Bro, the first time I went,
on his shoulder.
the first time I went,
I didn't have enough money for anything.
bro, they used to have this thing called In the Biz in South Florida, where it's like if you worked in the restaurant industry, you would get into like Tootsies and all that stuff for free and shit like that, and it would have $3 fucking Coronas with a shot of tequila lime in there, bro.
What do they call those? Loaded Ronies.
Loaded Rona, yeah, that was it.
Now I know where Drake got his line from. Second floor Tootsie's getting shoulder rubs.
There we go.
He's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I remember one time it was like I was there at Tootsie's and like some girl just like came on and started doing a massage. I was like, all right, whatever. I thought it was like all free. I was like,
Yeah,
this.
say 25.
She's like 25. I was like, what? I didn't ask you to do this. But that's funny because like the strip clubs in Miami, they're very like, at least the farther south you go, they really speak no English at all, but they'll just come to you and they like propina or just like tip without doing shit. I'm like, yo, you gotta earn that shit. You just can't ask for me for $1.
Yeah, the one and only time I was at 11, I got yelled at by the stripper because she just got a boob job, and I'm a big boob grabber.
Yeah.
Fucking it was.
He's a show in the strip club.
I make it rain.
Bro, I've gone to so many strip clubs all over the United States. The best one I went to was in Tijuana, though. It was amazing.
enough.
To be honest, there's no real strip clubs that are good as the ones in South Florida, though. Not even the one in Tampa. And Tampa is supposed to be like a really big spot. They have like Mount Venus and all that shit that's out there, but you can't really drink in those strip clubs over there. But
Really?
yeah, I went to Miami. It's like the famous one on my birthday weekend when I was like, because it was like an hour from UCF. I went and like we couldn't drink alcohol. We had to literally go back to the car and keep on drinking. I spent more time with this girl in the car drinking than I did at the strip club.
Actually, I got a crazy.
Oh, dude.
This is my favorite strip club story of all time. So since we're on the topic, I gotta tell it because this is number one.
He's been waiting 10 episodes for this.
So, I don't know if you've ever been to Myrtle Beach, but there's this one strip club there. I've been to Myrtle Beach a handful of times. I forget the name of it, but it's a bring your own beer strip club.
I've been a lot of places like that.
Oh my God, it's absolute trash. And so, but I love it though.
Yeah, no, usually the ones that are usually ratchet and like fucked up like that are usually the best ones.
Yeah, they're working for the money in there.
Oh,
Yeah. Fucking, so I get there, we walk in with our beers. I'm like probably like 22 at the time, 23. And the stripper, it's one of those where like everyone's sitting around on tables and just one stage in the middle. And she's like, come here. I'm like, all right. She's like, give me $1. I was like, okay. Here's $1. She takes it, she folds it long ways, like hot dog style, and then she like goes back on her shoulders with like her pussy in the air, and she lays the $1 across her pussy and queefs it in the air.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
So I gave her $5 more.
I think the craziest like story like that I had at a strip club was actually in Baltimore. I went to the convention over there, and it was it was like the weekend of a convention before I even moved up here, and I was there, and there was this. Have you ever seen that one girl who has the octopus coming out her ass cheeks? That's
No.
like she's like
The porn star.
Yeah, the porn star.
What's her name?
I forgot her name,
She
but
got
she
a
was
fat ass,
there.
that
She
one.
was there. She was there at the convention, and then we all went to the strip club after. But she was doing this thing where she put a fucking stick in her asshole, and she gave you these little rings to throw it at and try to catch it on her ass. I was like, oh my God. That was like pretty much crazy.
And then you tasted the ring after it came out of her ass? Or?
Of course, what do you say? No.
Can we talk about that Ink Master a little bit?
Oh, hell yeah.
So, I'm just wondering, was that a dream for you to get on that? Like, were you a big fan of Ink Master beforehand?
I was the biggest fan of Ink Master before I got on.
I'm happy you say that.
That was the biggest fan, and to me, like, I started liking tattooing because, like, when I was telling you before, like, when I first saw tattooing, I just saw it was just, like, the traditional tattoo. It wasn't nothing, like, the type of art I really liked. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I got to see Ink Master and see what tattooing can be and what can be done on it, and then you can kind of, like, incorporate those arts. So it's, like, to me, it's, like, I watched every season until I got on. Like, now I can't watch. I watched my season one time, and I will never watch it again because I think it's so awkward seeing myself on TV talking, and I fucking hate it. I hate my voice and all that shit, but... Like, to me, watching that, like, kind of got me motivated. And And the way I got on it took me 3 seasons to get on it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what was like the process for that?
So like I applied online the first time. I was like 3 years into tattooing, and I seen one of my coworkers apply for online. I didn't even know that was fucking possible. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna put my name and send a couple pictures in and see what happens. So that first part comes in. It asks me for 2 pictures of my work, a picture of myself, and my Instagram. I did that part, and then the next page comes in. It was like a whole like fucking. It probably took me an hour to fill out. I said, fuck that shit. I wasn't that serious about it. I wasn't getting on. I didn't think I was that good. So I was like, no, I'm not even going to fill that shit out. But 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from them. And that shit just like, all right, it is a possibility.
So I'm filling this shit out today.
Yeah, I didn't even have to fill it out. What I had to do was, I had to do a Skype interview. And I did my Skype interview, and they're like, fucking, yeah. And I didn't hear anything back. And I kind of like, it kind of gave me a glimpse of hope that it can happen. And then it was like, kind of like, oh, you were right there, but no, it's not going to happen. So that shit got me hyped. So I didn't hear anything back, and they told me not for that season. I applied for season 12, the next season on there, and I literally got the same thing. I did the fucking Skype interview. After that, they got me into the next level, fucking, I guess the next stage to try to get on. They asked me to fill out this big ass paperwork where all this stuff. I had to take a psychological test where they had to ask me all these questions. They paid for it there. They started asking me for wardrobe and shit, and I was like,
You had to do
what?
a psych test?
Yeah, I had to do a psych test to make sure I'm not nothing crazy. Cause
Yeah.
Because it's like we're living in that one building the whole time, so it's like we can't leave, we can't do shit. So they want to see if we're like mentally tough enough to do that type of shit. But after that, it was like pretty good, and then they asked me what I want to wear for the wardrobe. I sent them a bunch of pictures and shit, and then they tell me right before the season, they're like, not this year. So I applied for season 13, and I did the whole thing, and I got on it. But funny with the shirts, I was supposed to be wearing like almost like tank tops the whole time because they have a formula how each person wears them. If you'll notice, like each season, the same people wear the same clothes for the whole season. So they're just like different variations of it.
Okay.
And they like pick your wardrobe on there. So
Gotta keep mine in that.
yeah, I got lucky where I got those shirts, the funny shirts with like the sushi and all that shit. To be honest, I don't wear that. Like I don't really wear those type of shirts, but I would I do like some of those like concepts better than fucking what I think Hero and all them I had to wear because they were wearing like fucking like baseball and bowling shirts. I was like, nah, I can't fucking do that shit. I'm from Miami. At least give me something fucking nice. They made me wear shorts the whole time. Now the funny part is like they made me wear my hat backwards. I couldn't wear my hat forward like this because it blocks my eyes and shit. So the first flash challenge, we're outside all day putting these Post-its on these fucking bus.
That was nuts.
Bro, it was crazy. It was like on there, but bro, the funny part at the end, like I had my hat backwards like this, and I'm sitting in the sun all day, and I take off my hat. I had a fucking semicircle on my forehead for the whole fucking, the rest of the time I was on there. They had to put makeup on my forehead every fucking episode and shit to cover that. And I was like, oh, I fucked that shit up. But it was pretty cool. They wouldn't let me wear any pants. I only wore pants one episode. And that was the one where we did the I guess the cups and the fence.
Yeah, the fences.
Yeah, that was
you
the one.
Killed that too.
Yeah, that was like there. That's another one I thought we should have won that shit. I thought we had like 2 people. We had like the coolest like different designs.
It was like the retro
gaming and shit, and it was like perfect for that shit. And of course, man, you know they like what they like and shit. But it was a really cool experience. I felt like being on there. I felt like I was like a tattoo summer camp because you're in there with like about 18 to 20 artists, and all the artists are there pretty all top notch. Except for maybe like 1 or 2 of them, they're kind of more personality than anything. But like everybody's top-notch artists there. We're all living in a room together. The beds are all there, and it's like we're living in that loft.
Oh, so where you guys are tattooing is where you're living?
Yeah, we're living at that. It's one big ass building. Like upstairs is like the loft where we lived up. Like downstairs they had the room for tattooing, the critique room, and shit like that. The only time we ever left that building was flash challenges, and we never knew anything that was gonna happen. Like. Everything, like the whole contest was 100% legit. Like we didn't no one told us anything. That's the one thing I was kind of like upset about. Not really upset, but I was thinking, I was on the perception that they would at least give us a day to know what we were going to tattoo for the next day.
And nothing.
No, like when we saw us walk up to the client, that's literally when we found out when we were going to tattoo. And we only had like 2 hours to do shit and shit like design and get everything ready. So it was like, it made it hard for me because like I went on when I was like 4 years into tattooing. So I was like, at that time, I was only doing realism because that's what I really wanted to do at the time. So I wasn't doing like any neo-trad or traditional. So it was like, I was going against people that did that exclusively and trying to like draw right. And then it like already had me behind the ball. And there's only like a couple pieces I felt on there that I could kind of showcase where I really can do. Like I did the skull for the collab I did with me and Jason. I felt like on the
yeah.
collabs, I fucking did really well in the collabs on there because I did my part. It was just more so trying to catch up to like Neotrad and those other designs that I wasn't custom, but it did help me like kind of like open my eyes to like what tattooing can be and like different aspects of it. So it did change how I tattoo when I got off it, and I did learn a lot, and it was like a big learning lesson because it was like it was just something different. It was the first time people were like, "Yo, trashing my tattoos" when I was on there. It was like,
Bro, that I was gonna ask, like, you know, how like the critiques, because like not for nothing, like, listen, Dave Navarro is a big name, but
Yeah.
that he's not a tattoo artist.
Yeah,
he was just a guitarist in Red Chili Peppers.
So
like,
I guess his perspective is like the perspective of the three judges. Like the two main judges, Nunez and fucking Oliver Peck. They have like they're OGs, but they're very like they like traditional stuff on there. Yep. So it's usually based on what they'll pick. Now, if they're at a standstill where they both don't agree, that's when Dave Navarro comes in.
Yeah, comes in.
He's the I guess the judge based on what a client would look like.
Okay.
Because he'll see what not just from like he'll look at a different aspect about like a different perspective based on what a client would see on there. But he's actually very knowledgeable about like art.
All right,
he
at least
understands a
he's
lot.
not-
Like he was like the really nicest guy on there. Very eccentric, but very nice.
Yeah,
They were all really nice. I really had a whole blast with all of them and shit like that. It was like very nice with them.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
So we just decided to get a mini oven where we have random questions in there.
Oh hell yeah.
We don't know, it's going to be picked at random, and some are a little raunchy, some are not too bad. But do you want to choose a question, or you want Franco to choose?
Oh yeah, I want you to choose.
I got you.
At least I can't say I picked the wrong one.
Some aren't too bad. Some aren't too
No,
bad.
some aren't too bad.
What you got?
Oh, that's the smallest one I've seen.
Let me see.
Tits or ass?
Oh, ass all day.
I need another one after
I'm
that.
from Miami. I was like, if you ain't got no ass, I ain't fucking with you.
I'll pick the next one. No, you gotta go.
Burning through. Should the toilet paper roll come from the top or the bottom?
Top. I don't have a reason. I just.
I'm pulling from the bottom, I think.
No, always from the top.
Because then I got to reach under like this. I can just pull
Yeah.
down like that. It's the closest thing to wipe my ass I can.
I don't know. I feel like it's got to be on the bottom. One more.
All right, go, one more.
You have to think of more
Three is a
questions.
good
after.
number.
Wait, you actually want a raunchy one? Usually he's like, he won't read them.
No, these are
usually.
I want the raunchy. I want the raunchy one. I want the raunchy as the raunchy. I'm from Miami. We're from the bottom. We're dirty south.
If you want, I'll just I'll pick them.
All
No, you pick.
right, we got. I'm not even gonna look. Does it count as having sex with a stripper if she's off the clock?
It's fitting for a conversation. Fitting for a conversation.
Oh man, hey, does it count as having sex with a stripper? Hell yeah, she's still a stripper.
That's a
know.
really good question.
See, I had a friend that dated a stripper, and I like.
Now
That was his girlfriend.
that's a little bit different. But if you take a stripper home from the strip club, you're still fucking a stripper. It's just off the clock.
Yeah, I guess there's like two different off the clocks. It's like if you're taking her home after, or if she's like, woke up in the morning, showered, and like
Yeah,
you guys went to
that's
lunch.
just a girlfriend. that is a stripper.
That may not be.
That is a
What about if you didn't take the stripper home? She was already off the clock when she was there.
You know what? I had that happen to me in New York.
Me too.
I literally. It's funny because like I was up in where was I at in Manhattan for the Empire State Tattoo Convention, and we went to a strip club, and we were like, yo, they were talking about $100 again, and we're like, what the fuck? It was like I never paid $100 again in no strip club. They brought it down to 80. Apparently, fucking it was Ghostface's birthday that weekend, so Wu-Tang was there, and I was like, why are they playing all this Wu-Tang? So I see this girl at the bar and shit, and like she's like, yo, buy me a drink. So I buy her a drink, and then she's just like hanging on me the whole fucking time. I thought it was just some girl that fucking was just at the strip club.
She got you.
She was like there, like I didn't even see a strip. I didn't even throw a fucking dollar that night, and I always like to throw I usually get like $200-300, throw a lot of money and shit, and then fucking there. But no, we ended up going back to the hotel, hooking up and all that shit. But I found out later that she was working that night, but I didn't. She was like, we just been hooking up like that. So I mean, I did hook up with a stripper, and it was still off the clock.
There you go.
All right, that's a really good question.
You like that?
I'm happy that's the one that came out after
I'm
third time's the charm.
We'll save the other ones for
I got one more question for you before we take this off. I feel like I was watching a season, it might be like season 4 or 5. It was back in the day. One of the guys didn't have any tattoos. How do you feel about like a tattoo artist that has no tattoos?
To be honest, man, a lot of older tattoos don't like it, but I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because like you still love the passion, the craft, because you're doing the work. You have to put all this time to be a good tattoo artist.
Yep.
All this drawing there, you just haven't felt the tattoo needle, and I feel like that has no interaction. If you do good tattoos, you're a good tattoo artist, and I don't really give a fuck if you don't have. Because I had a couple like people that actually were like one of the owners that was a tattoo artist that had no tattoos. He just didn't find one he wanted, or maybe it was just based on his religion, but he was a good tattoo artist. He was more knowledgeable to a lot of other tattoo artists that talk shit about artists like that. And to me, it's like if you can tattoo and you put a lot of effort into it and you put a lot of craft and love into your craft, it don't matter if you have tattoos or not.
Right. It's like being a really good coach that was a terrible player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, you could be like fucking.
That's good. That's a good analogy.
It's almost like what a lot of these like sports analysts that they study the game so much, but they never played the fucking sport and shit.
Yeah.
But they have knowledge because they watch it every day. And like if you're putting that much time into something, who's to say that you don't know what the fuck you're doing?
Exactly.
And shit.
I remember them giving him shit on that season because he was really fucking good.
Yeah.
But they just kept giving him shit because he had no tattoos.
I don't know. I think it's just like a place of maybe jealousy or something like that. When it's like, oh, you don't have no tattoos, but you're taking what I love and shit. But like they put the amount of work in. You can't just tattoo good by just coming off of nowhere and not having no like experience or no work into it. And I feel like if you put that work into something and you eventually get good, it's like if someone looks different based on what they look has no input into what they're gonna do and shit.
Yeah, definitely. You got a question for us?
Yeah.
We always get.
He
always gives at least one.
Get in the shot.
Hey, come on here.
Come on.
She always gives at least one question.
She always likes to act like she doesn't want to get on camera.
She did her hair today.
Okay. You said that you're super into art, and if you had to choose an art form other than tattooing, what would that be?
Oil painting.
Oil painting?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oil painting or graffiti? I love graffiti. I love spray paint, but any type of painting, that would probably be something I would do just for fun without having to like get paid for it.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I have one for you guys too, but it's not as cool.
Shoot.
if you had to get a tattoo, well, I guess it's cool. If you have to get a tattoo that like symbolized your relationship with weed, what would that be? Or you can answer this too.
I mean, I already got one. I have a neo traditional like nug on my knee.
Do you?
Yeah. And then I watch a lot of anime, so I have it's like a mix between Goku and Rick. That's like he looks like he's high as fuck. I have one of those on there, but I really love. I actually did a 420 tattoo in Chicago recently on there. That was pretty fucking dope. It was like a fucking nice.
Is it on your picture? Is it on your
It's
Instagram?
on there.
Yeah, I got you.
It's like a bud, and it was funny because like I did a tattoo of Squints from Sandlot, and I sent him the picture, and he gave me a heart. But then I posted the one on the bud one, and he's like, "Yo, that's the best bud tattoo I've ever seen in my life." He has it on there.
Yeah,
now he follows me and shit like that, so I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
That's awesome. And what shout out your Instagram handle for a second.
It's just Jordi _M4L. That's where you can find me, or you can go to my website, www.jordiplawtattoos.com.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
I actually already had my tattoo with my relationship with pot as well on my thigh. We were in San Diego a couple years back, and it was like the first time San Diego's ever seen hail.
Oh, shit.
So it was like freezing cold. We were like, all right, there's nothing to do here. All my buddies were like, oh, let's go get weed tattoos.
There you go.
So I got Towley tattooed on the top of my thigh.
Towley, fucking off.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Me? Honestly,
You just need someone sleeping.
I-
Just a couple of Z's.
I was gonna say either just the Z emoji or maybe like Snorlax. Or something.
There we go, throw lights on there.
Oh, thanks for coming, man.
I appreciate it, man. It was a blast.
Yeah, dude, seriously,
Awesome,
man.
man.
Thank you so much,
The
bro.
food's amazing. I really love the fucking salmon. Yo, that shit was fire.
Chef Harry Poole at Jackson's.
Fire.
Always
Give him
mix
a
it
clap
up.
for
Yep,
that.
Chef
That
Harry.
was fire.
I want to shout out my boy Corey over here too for making this happen. You know, he's behind the cameras right now, but he has a sick page. It's called Ink Collabs on Instagram, as well as a clothing line, No Strength Collective, KNOW. Go check that out as well. My boy, thank you, bro.
Appreciate you guys. Have a fucking blast.
We want to thank Chef Harry Poole and his team at Jackson's Restaurant in Comac, New York for another amazing infused meal. Make sure you check out our YouTube page, click the subscribe button, and join us next time, because there's always an open seat for you at the oven.